Today, we're diving into a film that's been getting a lot of buzz lately, The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. The movie's been stirring up mixed reactions from critics and audiences alike, but does it live up to the hype? Well, we're about to break it all down. The performances, the cinematography, the pacing, the direction, the whole shebang. Before we get started, make sure to like this video if you enjoy deep dives into film, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more. Let's jump in. Part 1. The director, Maggie Gyllenhaal's bold vision. First, let's talk about Maggie Gyllenhaal in the director's chair. The Bride is only her second feature film, after The Lost Daughter, which was met with widespread critical acclaim. Gyllenhaal's directorial style has already established itself as emotionally raw and psychologically complex, and in The Bride, she continues to explore the darker side of human nature. The film is a psychological thriller with strong gothic elements, and Gyllenhaal's direction really leans into the surreal. She's not afraid to linger on unsettling moments, letting the tension build slowly. The result? A film that's as much about what's not being said as it is about what is. Her ability to craft intimate, emotionally charged moments is impressive, but it does sometimes feel like the movie prioritizes atmosphere over plot. Some critics, including those on Rotten Tomatoes, mentioned that Gyllenhaal's approach might be a bit too subtle, and I can see why. The film has a dreamlike quality that leaves a lot to interpretation, which some viewers will love, but others might find frustrating. Part 2. Cinematography, a visual masterpiece? Now let's talk about the cinematography. And folks, this film is gorgeous. Cinematographer Lucas Zoll, known for his work on Cold War, brings a level of visual sophistication that elevates The Bride from just a psychological thriller to a full-on visual experience. The use of lighting here is exceptional. There are these haunting wide shots of the film's wedding venue that almost feel suffocating. Everything is so vast and empty, you can feel the isolation closing in on the characters. It's not just about the characters being alone, but the atmosphere of emotional desolation that permeates every frame. The color palette is deliberately muted, with soft pastels mixed with darker, more oppressive hues that reflect the film's emotional and thematic undercurrents. This is a film that wears its gothic inspiration on its sleeve, with rich visuals that enhance the sense of dread. But there's a catch. While the cinematography is stunning, the slow pacing sometimes means these beautiful shots linger a bit too long. It's one of those films that demands patience from the viewer, and if you're not someone who enjoys a slower, more meditative film, you might start checking your watch. Part 3. The writing. A slow burn with some pacing issues. This is where The Bride hits some bumps. The script, penned by Gyllenhaal herself, is undeniably ambitious. It deals with themes like identity, societal expectations, power dynamics in relationships, and of course, the nature of creation itself. It's got all the makings of a deep, cerebral thriller. But here's the thing, the pacing is slow, and the plot feels like it's constantly circling the same emotional beats. Some critics have pointed out that the film's subtext sometimes overshadows the narrative, and I agree. It's a bit frustrating when you realize that the film spends more time dwelling on atmosphere than pushing the plot forward. That said, when the film does land on a poignant moment, it hits hard. There are some really strong scenes of emotional confrontation, particularly between the bride and other characters who challenge her perceptions of self and reality. But overall, the script might leave you wishing for a bit more clarity, especially when it comes to the larger themes. Part 4. The performances. A stacked cast, big swings, and strong moments. Now, let's get to the performances because, wow, The Bride really brought together a heavy-hitting cast. At the heart of the film is Jessie Buckley, who plays the bride, a character who's resurrected and stuck in a bizarre emotional limbo. Buckley is a force to be reckoned with. She's known for her ability to dive into complex, often dark characters, and she delivers once again here. The Bride is messy, unpredictable, and haunting, and Buckley plays her with this raw intensity that makes every scene fascinating to watch. She truly anchors the film, and her performance is magnetic. Opposite her is Christian Bale as Frank, a Frankenstein-like figure who's been stitched together both physically and emotionally. Bale's performance is transformative, not just in his physical appearance, but in his ability to convey Frank's loneliness and desperation. There's an aching sadness to his character that makes him more tragic than monstrous. The dynamic between Frank and the bride is at the core of the film, and Bale's commitment to his role adds a lot of emotional weight. Then there's Annette Bening, who plays Dr. Euphronius, the scientist who brings the bride to life. Bening, as always, exudes intelligence and authority, though her character is a bit more enigmatic. She doesn't have as much screen time as Buckley or Bale, but Bening gives her role a depth that challenges the bride's understanding of her own existence. The supporting cast is also stellar, with Peter Sarsgaard playing Detective Jake Wiles. Sarsgaard brings a grounded quality to the film, helping to balance out the more surreal elements. Penelope Cruz also pops up as Myrna Mallow, the assistant detective. Cruz is as charismatic as ever, but her role feels a bit underused. It's a solid performance, but one that could have been more fleshed out. And in a bit of metacasting fun, Jake Gyllenhaal plays Ronnie Reed, a washed-up movie star who Frank idolizes. His role is almost self-aware in how it pokes fun at the nature of celebrity, and though it's small, it adds a layer of humor and absurdity to the film's otherwise dark tone. So, The Bride is definitely one of those films that will spark conversations. Maggie Gyllenhaal's direction is ambitious, and the film's performances, particularly from Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale, are top-notch. The cinematography is stunning, and the themes, though abstract, are rich with meaning. But the pacing might be a deal-breaker for some. The film lingers a bit too long on atmosphere, and while that's a style choice, it can make the plot feel sluggish at times. The writing, though fascinating, could have been tighter in terms of clarity, and some of the supporting characters get lost in the shuffle. In short, The Bride is a visually striking and thought-provoking film that won't appeal to everyone. If you're someone who enjoys psychological thrillers with a slower pace and lots of subtext, it's worth checking out. But if you prefer more straightforward narratives, this might not be for you. And that's my take on The Bride. What do you think? Have you seen it yet? Or is it on your watch list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I see you in the next one.